Hello everybody, in this video we'll talk about USCIS new guidance on how to expedite your case. What could be a good reason for them to expedite your case. So if you're interested, I'll see you on the other side. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Immigration Channel. This is a place where you get the most up-to-date immigration news, immigration updates, and everything else that you need to make your immigration journey less stressful. My name is Jacob Sapochnick, and I'm an immigration attorney located in San Diego, California, and I help clients in all 50 states. In this video, we'll cover the most recent up-to-date USCIS guidance on expedited requests. As you know, a lot of USCIS cases are being delayed. It's very useful to understand how and under what circumstances they will expedite your case. But before we do that, if you're here for the first time, make sure to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, and also give us a big like so YouTube will be able to share this video with more people just like you. So let's jump in right into the video. Make sure you watch this video until the end. I'm going to provide you some examples from USCIS policy manual as to what cases they'll consider to be eligible for an expedited request. January 25th, 2022, USCIS released an announcement that they've updated their policy manual with respect to expedited requests. More specifically, whether these requests are submitted by an individual or by a non-profit organization. They also provided some specific examples as to why they consider to be a good reason to expedite a case. And finally, they provide a little bit of explanation. And finally, they provide a little bit of an understanding as to how USCIS assesses these requests to expedite cases. So typically, USCIS will consider to expedite your case if your situation will fall under one of these following criteria: severe financial loss to a company or a person, provided that the need for the action to expedite the case is not the result of the petitioner's or the applicant's fault. So for example, if it was your fault, the reason why you need to expedite, you didn't follow the rules, you didn't send the correct fees, whatever happened, if it was your fault, they're not going to expedite. It's not going to fall under this criteria. Number two, emergencies and urgent humanitarian reasons. And finally, if it's a clear USCIS error, then they will expedite your case. Now, based on the recent clarifications, let's look at some further examples of what these criteria actually mean. So if you look at the severe financial loss, for example, here's an interesting example. A company can demonstrate that it's at the risk of severe financial loss if it can show that the company is at the risk of failing, losing a critical contract that will result probably in either the company going out of business or they need to lay off a lot of employees. And a specific example that USCIS is providing in its policy manual is the following. They give a specific example of a medical office that may suffer severe financial loss if a gap in a doctor's employment authorization document would result in this office needing to lay off a bunch of its medical assistants because they're not able to work without the doctor being legally allowed to work in the United States. It is a very specific example that appears in the policy manual of USCIS that gives you an idea and understanding that in such a case, they will actually expedite the work permit of that doctor because the inability of this doctor to work results directly in the assistants not being able to work, and therefore this office must lay them off. Job loss is another example where an individual can request an expedite. For example, the inability to travel for work. As a result of that, you may lose your job. That could be a sufficient reason to expedite your request for a travel permit and your EAD. And that is actually in the policy manual. Remember, the need to obtain a work permit alone without any outside reasons is not going to be sufficient to expedite your case. Let's talk about humanitarian reasons to expedite your case. What are they? They may include, but not limited to, illness, disability, extreme living conditions, death in the family, or a critical need to travel to obtain medical treatment. All these examples are in the policy manual and could warrant an expedite request. An emergency can also be a need to expedite a work permit for an essential healthcare worker. That's also could be a good reason to expedite your EAD. Government agencies like the DOL, IRS, DOJ can also request to expedite an EAD on your behalf if your cooperation or collaboration is essential for a government purpose. If your cooperation or collaboration is essential for a government purpose. So these are also limited incidents, but they're also possible to be used to expedite your case. So how do USCIS assess requests for expedite treatment? Remember, not every situation under the examples I provided to you before will necessarily warrant an expedite. They have discretion, and they specifically say that in the policy manual. It doesn't mean that even if your situation It doesn't mean that even if your situation meets the requirements or the examples I described before, they're not going to expedite your case automatically. It doesn't mean that even if your situation meets the requirements or the examples I described before, they're not going to expedite your case automatically. If your case is eligible for premium processing, you're not going to be eligible for the expedited request based on the examples I described to you before. It's just how it is, and it appears in the policy manual. So for example, if your case requires an on-site inspection, investigation, background checks, those situations are going to limit your ability to request an expedite. So if your case is under investigation, if they have to do a site visit to your house or your place of employment, then you're not going to qualify for an expedited request because your case is being under review at the moment. Generally, as I mentioned before, they will consider your case for an expedite if you meet the requirements, the examples I described in this video. However, even if you do, they have full discretion to make a decision whether to expedite your case or not. Hopefully, this information was helpful. I know a lot of you are worried, your cases are being delayed, and you're trying to do what you can to expedite. But hopefully, if you meet those requirements, you should definitely try to expedite your case. It's not going to hurt your case overall. Once again, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, let me know. And also, if you need my assistant, text me right here, 619-483-4549. If you need help to expedite your case or with any other immigration matter, I'm here for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.